Alrighty, hello. This should be our second update for NIE, which is the fighting game I am currently creating. As you can kind of guess from the health bars now at the top, we have the health component activated. Boom! You see, you kind of also just blink out. You have still have a lot of the dialogue off to the side, dev notes or whatever they're called, and you can also see as you go down in health, you change what your skin looks like. And then, of course, it'll be the same for the opponent, and they should keep their tint as they go into sprites as well. Though they might not be. Oh, they are. They are. They're just being typical. Oh, I see why. It's also because the other vector sprite is now a new actor, and I still need to that to it. Right. Just because I found it to be easier than doing size recoding within the character. So if we go over to construction, we just grab the vector character and also throw that in here. Boom, bop. That's basically just adding the tint to it if it's player 2. As of right now, a lot of these other booleans, if it's player N, I, and E, just don't do anything. The color is grabbing the color for the tint for the normal model. Hopefully that looks a bit more typical, though, as this is kind of just the demonstration, it is obviously a bit off. You go from those colors to being gray. So maybe I should be putting a blue tint on them anyway, just in case. And that would probably solve a lot of other issues. But yeah, as of right now, there's no way to actually die. I had tried programming some things where it stopped all your movement when you stopped, but as of right now, this is kind of where the game's at. The main issue I'm running into is for some reason, whenever you shoot out your projectile per se, it just goes through the other person if they're not moving. If they're moving, they'll get hit. But I know, so the way it's working right now, and we just have it as damage projectile wherever it is at, it is currently working like this. On component hit being the sphere, the other object being character test, which is the character. Target health, take damage, change face, destroy actor. Destroying the actor, of course, being the bullet, and change face is just the special new component for the character test. If we go over to event graph, it looks kind of disgusting, but change face you grab from all three things. This is kind of just the setting the blinking whenever you take damage, 0.2 delay, sorry, 0.2 second delay, and then you become visible again. This is just math. Basically, we're asking, are you below 80%? If you're below that 80%, then boom, we'll change you to the low poly 3D model. If you're below 60%, boom, we will change you once again. But we also have to turn the visibility off of the 3D character and now set the flipbook to character vector. Though we have vector character as a separate thing because vector character is just bigger. And then boom, we can go do 40%. Your vector model is now set to nothing as its asset, whereas the pixel character is set to circle 64. Once you're at 20%, boom, you're set over to circle 32, which just means it was a circle that was 32 pixels tall, whereas this one was 64 pixels tall, and vector was pretty big. So that's why you had to like go through a change thing, because as of right now, if you look at this, boom, zero point 0.5 scale on the 3D character, vector is at a 0.8 scale, well, actually 0.08 scale, and pixel is at a 0.35 because I turned off the snapping on the scales because it was kind of just disrupting it and not allowing me to get it to the points I wanted it to be. Otherwise, for the event graph, we have some changes now to this, basically just to add the things to the UI to the viewport. So if we go through, boom, add mapping is valid, all that stuff from there before. Cast a player controller. This is actually adding player 2 because I did it backwards because at some point I got it working, but it was only working for player 2. So I just duplicated it and then reworked my way from there. But now we have it set to where it's player controller 1, so it actually would work either way. Gets player 2 health widget, adds it to viewport, then it casts a player controller, getting player controller index 0. Create player 1 health widget, the owning player being this, of course. Player 1 health, and then it adds it to the viewport. Which I guess we can show those now, because health components here, death components actually doing nothing because it just isn't working yet. But if we look at all this, I guess health component was already open. It's honestly very, very standard. The event graph literally actually has nothing on it. We have not used it once. The take damage, of course, is the most important one. So you have your current health. The take damage, so you subtract from the current health the amount to set current health, to then you print health, which is a complete separate function. You update UI, which is a complete separate function. And then it asks if current health is less than or equal to 0. If it's true, it should die, which is going into the death actor, but that is currently not working. Otherwise, you get owner, get component by class, death, yada yada, that kind of stuff. Print health, very simple. When print health runs, it's just current health, semicolon, I guess not semicolon, just colon, then print string being current health, going into the string section. So it has a string output, of course. Heal, we have it all set up. And if you want to take the time to look at it, it's a very simple setup. It's just adding the current health to the set health, and then if the current health is greater than the max health, it will actually just even it down to the max health. So basically, if it goes above 100, there's easier ways to clamp it, but as of right now, this game should not be involving healing in any sense. Update UI is actually pretty fun because this is my first time using an event dispatcher, which when opened, I guess you have to click on it from over there, but you can add inputs. We added a float. Health has changed. Print string UI updated. You get current health, max health, divide them into percent health, and that works with the various UI. Because you can see it's just a simple percent bar. I originally had other things going on with text and whatnot, but it was complicating things, so I was like, Plus, this is honestly just less coding for me, and I'm not even a coding student, so it works fairly enough. Which means we also don't have a bunch of actual like additional functions like I used to have whenever I was in class before. And instead, we get a boom. We get to just have this. We have event construct, get owning player pawn, cast a character test, get so you update the UI from the health as the target as character test, and then you go to that binding event. The health is changed that we saw from the health component. You bring down the event into a custom event, health bar is updated, you set the percentage of the progress bar. How this manages to work every single time, to me, kind of a miracle. But we'll accept it as it is because I am happy and it is working. And then, of course, player 2 is just the same thing, but it's anchored to the other side and it just has right to left. It might both technically be right to left because the anchoring is, yep, no, left to right, right to left. Yeah, it is what it is. And then, of course, the graph is literally the same. It's just more a matter of when you're creating them, the character test, assigning 1 to player index 1 and 1 to player index 0 being player 1 and player 2. Projectile movement. I mean, it's a very simple thing. This will likely just be invisible in game because the entire point of this exists right now is because I was not being able to get the hitbox to work. So I originally had a box collider, but just wasn't figuring out how I could activate it, turn it on and off as a hitbox. So right now we have a projectile, has a pretty high movement, I think of like 700, just so it always outruns the player and you don't hit yourself because that can happen. And then the event graph is pretty simple. It's as simple as a component hit, cast a character test, target health, take damage, the current amount is 10, change phase, destroy actor. As of right now, the actor changes every 10%. Well, actually, every 20%. Boom, bop. If I was actually doing anything more with these characters, I probably would just go through and make at least these pixel ones have a blue tint on that side, because as of right now, not as much of an issue. Okay, it's really weird to play when you're only. I am disoriented now. Okay, that one's that. The issues are mostly like trying to like attack with both of them, because this one keeps its red tint. This one looks cool. But yeah. Let me just see if I can. What time are we at? Almost 10 minutes. Shouldn't be too long of an extension to the video, but ooh, that is not what I wanted to click. what I need to find is character, character tab, construction script. We basically just need this. Control C, Control V. Ooh. And this is something I'll likely turn off at some point, but for now we'll just have it here. Boom, boom, color. Make that thing blue. So it's more in line with the other one. Kind of a magenta, I guess, works. And hopefully that should solve that. That's 11. I think this is more of a magenta anyway. So now we both appear to be magenta. So that's a concern, I suppose. How bizarre. Hmm. This one's only on player 2. Yeah, there's no reason for it to be adding it to the other one. Yeah, I don't know why that one's actually turning red now, but once again, not actually an issue. It's just something I wanted to see if I could fix that on the fly. That is very much something I can just make a sequence is have an if player 1. Well, now they're both red. How bizarre. Well, I will fix this on my own time. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching.